Right, I should say good evening because it is evening here by us. Hi everyone, it is Mickey here from A Pretty Talent and the Waterwell Ministries, and I am back to complete my coloring of this page in my Bible. Now, I need to color these two birdies, and I know nothing about birds, so I went in search of reference photos to color the birds in. I have no idea what kind of birds they are, but I came upon this picture, this photo, and this is the Guldian finch, which is from Australia. But I like the colors on this little bird, and it's actually, it says, it's a painter's palette of plumage. The Guldian finch is a miniature riot of colors. So I'm going to use this as my reference because I like these colors to go on my page. I am reading from Purnell's Encyclopedia of Animal Life. That's where I found this picture. And let's get started. Why not? So, yes, let me take a look at this little bird and decide where to go from with this. Okay, so it has a very bright yellowish orangey kind of plumage at the bottom here, stomach end, and I think I'm going to go with this one, 074. Still using the Brutfuner pencils. Finishing my coffee on the side. I've just had my dinner. Okay, so now there's a purplish strip. So the yellow comes in from, well, I'm just going to do some color blocking. Let me just get the colors in place. The yellow come in from around about here. This is going to look odd, but it's what the photo reference says, so we shall go with that. I'm going to be taken out over these choices by people who've not seen the photo because it looks unnatural, doesn't it? Doesn't look real. Now, I'm quite sure, knowing very little about birds, I know enough to know that the male and the female normally have completely different color schemes to them. I've got only one photo to work from. Normally also the males are the pretty ones and the females not. They normally much muted color schemes. But anyways, okay. Leave it at that. Presumably that one's tail is not showing. Okay, well, let's go with the purple first. It is yep. Shall we go with this one? 053. I think it's one that I've used already in this palette, but that'll be fine. A little bit of repetition contributes to the harmony, doesn't it? Okay, so now you need to be a little bit more careful with this one because there are lines running all over the show here. Well, it doesn't have to be an exact replica, but we would like to kind of keep it. Did I say the number? 053? I think I did. Okay. Now it has a difficult to say if that is black or a very dark blue. So, seeing as it's not obvious, let's opt for very dark blue. Sure. I've still got to get a light blue in and a red. So where a black or the dark blue, I don't know. I think it's actually black, but I like the idea of the dark blue, so we'll go with that. And this is going to come in kind of like this, leaving a bit of a space there. Sort of like that, I think. Now, I don't have this one, so let's say it is something like this. You see, I don't see this bird from all angles, so it's a little tough to decide where colors should run. I think it's going to be something like that. This was 093. Right. Now, we have a pale blue. Which pale blue? I think about this one. The brightness of the light, 035. The reflections of the light at night makes this a tiny bit difficult to see. Okay, well, it comes in here. It doesn't go over the line, for crying out loud. Can you not color? Okay. No, I don't think it goes that far. I actually think it just comes in here and then kind of wraps itself around here. Not sure it went all the way up there, but now it's gone there. Okay, so tiny little slither of blue. That. Let's bring it in here. Zero 035. Okay. Then I have to go for a very bright red. Very bright red. Okay. Brighter than this one, I'll tell you. 008. Let's stick with this one first. Can I say something about the artistry of God as I'm doing this? I am always in absolute awe of the majestic creativity of God. When I deal with reference photos, and you start really looking at things, it is astounding to think that God could come up with such a variety of really, truly interesting patterns and shapes and forms. And if we have any rules, it's because we've observed what He's done as a creator. So we've seen repetition of patterns and colors work. We've seen the creation of rhythm and balance, and it's simply through observation. This blue line is in the wrong place. It should have come through down here. Oh well, now we're going to put it there as well. Actually makes it interesting. This red was 008. I did say that. Okay. Now there's a bit of red at the right edges of the little beaks, which I think I'll put in with the same color. And while I'm at it, there's a very pale pink on the rest of the beaks. This is 011. I think it's actually more white coral type, but this will suffice. Now the eyes have kind of that pale blue, even paler actually. .038. I wonder if this one is even paler. It has a kind of a pale blue surrounding the eyes, which I'm not sure will show there. And then the eyes are black. .001, the black. Why is this not coloring there? What's stopping the pencil from taking in this spot? I don't know. It's as if it doesn't want to sit there, as if there's a resistance on the page, which is not what I want, because I don't want this black to be that prominent there. Let me work it back a bit. Good grief. Maybe if I sharpen the point. But the resistance is not on the pencil. There's something on the page pushing the pencil. Okay, now I don't want a dark black. And I certainly want to keep the white spots in the eyes. Okay. We shall leave it at that. Then it has a green. What color green? Maybe this one. I think this is a bit bright. I think this is a bit bright. Let me go really soft. No, it's actually a good choice. It is 096. .096. And I'm now going to run into trouble because the wings don't look like that. It actually has white here as well. It's got all sorts of colors going still, and I'm not going to be able to do that. The wings are just green. And I would like to do something else on the wings, but I think I'll do that with the second color that I'm going to bring in. So let's stick with green now. You see this here, this is where I think the original drawing kind of went skew. I wonder if that's not flower. It makes more sense if it's flower. Really hard to tell, but I'm going to make it a flower now because it really kind of makes more sense to me that way. Now the tail end is once again leaning towards this blue. It's such a colorful bird. Not that you can see too much of the tail end, I will say this much, but from what I can see, these blue, someone in Australia who knows this bird better than me is going to think, what is this woman doing with this bird? Has she never seen it? No, she hasn't. I literally have never seen this bird. But I like it and I'm going with it. Its feet are orange. Very colorful bird. Well, there you go, birdie. You have been color blocked. Now, what to do from this point on to make this appear realistic-ish is anybody's guess, isn't it? Let's bring this yellow into the wings. The same yellow that we've used, the 074. You see, in the minute you do that, it kind of pulls it together a bit. Now, what else are we going to do to pull things together? We're going to bring this orange into the body of the bird. And we're not going to color per se, we're rather going to be doing contour lines to create that streaky, feathery look. Right. Oh, and what we do with one bird, well, you see, there in the shadow areas, I do a little bit more kind of like coloring. It's still lines, it's not coloring. But okay, then the streaky lines, allowing myself to be guided by the lines on the picture. And I didn't say this, but this is now video 2, because I have decided to split them. The other video is already about 2 hours long, the first one. And I didn't think we should continue make it any longer. Bit of soft coloring here. Not too obvious. Okay. I like that. What else can we do to repeat color? Risky. So I'm bringing the red into the purple. I don't want the purple to look red. Yes, it is no longer so monotone and it looks much better. What do we do with that red? We go brighter, even brighter. This pencil of mine that was missing and has returned, 052, it's very short. I've got to put the red there. I like this. It's the hint of red coming down there. Okay. Yeah, this much redder head is looking better. Now, let's bring this very pale blue, streaky, very streaky, into the back feathers. No, I don't actually have those on the top bird, so. Okay, then let's bring this dark blue into this blue here, but I'm gonna have to be very, very careful not to turn this too dark now. And I'm gonna bring it into the tail feathers as well. The birds are starting to look like something. They are. Let me bring a little bit of black into the red, just to accentuate a couple of spots. But I'm working very lightly with the black. I'm not allowing the black to create deep shadows. It's touching, just touching. Okay, I like that. Now we need to look at deep shadow areas. Where are we going to create those deep shadows? Here. I'm going to create it there. I was going to create a couple of deep shadow areas. And I don't even necessarily believe that the birds have these deep shadow areas, but the coloring picture has to be, it has to form a unity. And so we have to stick with the rules that we've laid down. think that'll do it. I'm just creating the rounded shape of the bird here. Come birdie, you need to look like you're round. Okay. Bit of accentuation on the beak. Yeah, I'll do it. While I'm on it, let's do this one. Beautiful. This bird next to me is absolutely stunning. I would love to see that in real life. Dearly love to see it in real life. He's gorgeous. Not in a cage. I don't, yeah. It's a preference thing. I like to look at animals, birds, species in their natural habitat. See them there. Yeah, it's the same way I feel about flowers. I don't like flower arrangements. I like bunches of flower. I like flower in nature. I like flowers in nature. That to me is gorgeous. I don't like it when flowers look tamed, as if they've been forced to be something they are not. Okay, I'm going to come in with a white pencil and I am going to use this as a blender. So the white pencil is 002. Still coloring, very streaky. Don't want to lose the feathery aspect of this. I'm just using this pencil to pull everything together. Okay, that should do it for the birds. Yeah, I think so. Okay, now I'm first going to stop the video so I can put away the coloring pencils, and then I'm going to, no, I first want to deal with this. Let me put the reference photo away. I have decided I am simply going to stop overthinking this so terribly. And just go with what is there. So I'm using the 093 blue pencil to color the outer border. Now, if you are scared of doing this, you're scared of going over the lines or crossing the lines or whatever it is, then what you can do is, I don't have a ruler at hand. You can put a ruler next to you when you color, even 2 rulers, and then color in between the 2 rulers, if that is something you wish to achieve. It's a very, very straight line. I find pencils will run in lines rather effortlessly. I think I'm going to stick with the same color for the inner border as well. I suppose I could have done this in a metallic pencil, or even a gel pen or something like that. Could have done that as well. Don't necessarily feel that I want to do that. I kind of like the earthiness here. I don't feel like a whole lot of bling today. Okay. Last little line. And now the options are, no, let's not go wild, just use this, what's this, 038, the pale blue. And if I come in with the pale blue, it's not going to matter if I'm not working accurately, because honestly it's not going to show on the dark blue. So I can color a little bit faster now. The need for accuracy is not as high as when I was coloring those thin lines. There's a spot here. It should not have been colored. Right. That's all I'm going to do in the coloring pencils. So let me pause and I will start up again just now. Let me just swap materials around. Okay, I am back. I just want to make sure that everything is still in shot and I'm recording correctly and whatnot. Okay, so what I have gathered are my blending brushes and my inks. And that's the exact same thing that I've done on this page. I've colored everything and then I used the inks to blend the background together. And I'm going to do the same thing, but unlike the blue here, I want to go with a different color. I think I'm going to go with a sunshiny yellow on this one. It's kind of what I'm leaning towards. And so I'm going to grab the Ranger Adirondack Brights Sunshine Yellow. I'll use this one. It's never a good idea to just use one. This one is very close to that one. It's called Butterscotch. But I am looking for where, here we go. I'm also going to use this one, the O2 ink, Persimmon Sauce. And I'm trying hard not to correct myself. Persimmon sauce, I don't know. don't know the pronunciation of the word, and it bugs me every time I try to say it, and then when I switch off the video, it no longer bugs me, and then I forget to check how you are supposed to say it. So I'm going to start with the Sunshine Yellow. Oh dear, okay. And oh my, okay, this will work. You really sort of want to just let me show you what I'm doing. You kind of want to ink off a little so that you don't put a hard line down. Yeah, I'll demonstrate on this. So if I just put this down, that is hard. But if I ink off first, I get a softer blend. I don't get those hard lines. And that's the idea with inking off. I like this. Have you noticed that I just go over because this is so soft, so muted, that I don't have to worry that it's going to affect my colors too much when I fill in these gaps. That one doesn't want to fill in. There we go. Here's another little gap here with the ink. Now, there it has colored the rose, and it makes no matter whatsoever because the sky is affected by the colors that is reflected. It's reflecting the colors surrounded. The sky isn't blue. And the colors surrounding it are affecting each other as light bounces off of it. So when these colors mix a bit, it actually looks more natural to the eye than if it doesn't. I kind of like what this yellow is doing, and I'm kind of thinking maybe I don't even bring in a different shade. It is this easy to fill your background if you use inks rather than coloring pencils. This would take forever with coloring pencils. Not forever. I have done this sort of thing with coloring pencils. Of course I have. Who hasn't? But you know, this was a long day of coloring, and saving a bit of time. Sure, it's good. It's really fantastic. I don't know which I like best, honestly. Saving a bit of time after a day of coloring it's a good idea. It also saves my arm, can I say this? Because I've got a week of marking. Oh, you see, that was a very hard line that I put down there. I've got a week of marking ahead of me. My grade 9s have all written digital tech practical this past week. And I haven't had a chance to start marking it, but I've got to start marking, and I've got 7 classes of marking the same thing over and over and over again, 7 classes. It's arduous. In any case, this right arm, it's gonna have its work cut out for it. Oh my goodness, I'm coloring behind this page now. How much do I care? Not at all. But okay. Let me do this. making this a tad more difficult to do, but not impossible. Is this an issue here at the bottom? Yes, it is. There are still spots there that has not been colored. That looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. Love this. Love this. Okay. There's enough variation here for me not to have to come in with the butterscotch and the persimmon, but I am going to bring the persimmon into, oh my goodness, hang on, brush off first. I'm going to bring it in here. I don't like how this one is blending. Despite the fact that I'm blending off, it is still giving me a very streaky kind of, it's not playing nice. Oh, okay. It's not terrible, but this is the first time I've used the O2 inks that I thought they weren't playing nice. Now I think it's too orangey by comparison to the rest of the page. Not yellowish enough. It's more of a brownish orange. So I'm going to come back to my sunshine yellow, and I am going to add this. We do want this block to stand out from the rest of the backdrop, because I mean this is in essence what this whole page is about, isn't it? The dedication page. I give you this Bible kind of page. I'm going to leave it open because I'm starting to think maybe one day I can actually give this Bible to someone. Someone who won't do their own journaling but loves the journaling idea. That'd be a nice idea to give someone like that. A Bible like this. It's a long ways off because that's all we've done. That's it. That's it, folks. We are done. It was a day of coloring, a full day of coloring, but we are done. Man, I like how this yellow looks on the pink roses. I like how the yellow looks on the pink roses. So I'm going to add yellow to the pink roses. Just the pink ones. And I'm not going to go crazy and put more ink on the brush. I'm just going to brush off on the pink roses because I actually think that looks better than without. That's it. That's it. And I like this. I think it's rather great. So now my Bible pages like this. This is pretty too. Look at the difference between a cold and a warm background. This is pretty but aloof. This is inviting and warm. Goes well with this. This is something completely different and interesting. This is something completely different. Chaotic but interesting. This is the story of the Bible. It's about going out and evangelizing, being a fisher of men, swimming with the sharks sometimes, being swallowed by a whale sometimes, having to perform like an octopus sometimes. I don't know. I sort of like the idea of this. There's a whole lot of the Christian life. Symbols of what it's like to be a Christian to me in this page. Now this is another problematic page that's coming up, and we will have to deal with that one. But let's leave it be. We're going to end on this pretty page, and I'm going to leave you with a message, a sort of salute from me to you. From me to you on this date. May you get to spend more time in the Word of God. May you get to love it. May it flow into your heart like the living waters. It was spoken to me, and may it become a refreshing source of life to you. That is my prayer for you tonight, and that's what I end with. So see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.